Some of the best grapplers in the world are competing this weekend at AIGA in Kazakhstan, and it's going to be free on YouTube for you to watch. So, in this Jiu Jitsu Oracle, Ross, I'm going to do my best to preview the event, to set you up for a weekend of watching elite grapplers face off against each other. We have AIGA in Kazakhstan with the Champions League finals. We also have Polaris in the UK with a women's squads event and some other interesting matches on the card. Let's get into everything we know that's going on, and it's not been easy to find out who is definitely competing at this AIGA event, but I will do my best to tell you what I know so far. So, basically, there are 8 teams involved. A bracket has been drawn. There's going to be a straight shootout. The first round of matches happens on Saturday. It all kicks off at 3 p.m. UK time. I think that's 10 a.m. New York time. So if you want to know your area of the world, if you're watching somewhere else and you're not sure the time it kicks off, just do a conversion from 3 p.m. GMT and you'll be able to work it out. So let's run through the draw and the grapplers that we know are going to be competing for the teams. So in the first round, top half of the bracket, team 1 is AIGA Republic. Now, I'm only going to name grapplers that I have seen in photos that have made it to Kazakhstan, because I don't think it's been the easiest travel situation, and maybe some grapplers have missed out because of it. So for AIGA Republic, I think I've seen Rubinho and Hulk. I think Felipe Andrew is flying in to compete for that team. I'm not sure whether Mika Galvao will make it, so keep your eyes peeled on social media to see if he does. But that's the kind of strength of the AIGA Republic team, so you've got a feel for who's competing for them. They go up against Al Leon in the first round. Now, most of the Al Leon team has made it to Kazakhstan. So names I've seen: Jeremy Skinner, Chris Budgick, Gianni Grippo, PJ Barch, Devontae Johnson, DeAndre Corby, Kenta Iwamoto, Daniel Stewart. So there you go. That's their team. The way the match is going to work is there's 7 weight classes. I think they go up in 5 kilogram increments. It's a dual meet format, so it's not like the quintet format that CGI2 is going to run. It's more like a wrestler meet format. So you face off against your opponent in that weight class from the other team. There's 7 matches. They are all 3x5 minute rounds. Basically, it's ADCC scoring for points within the rounds, give or take, and whoever wins most of the 3 rounds wins the match. And then if you win your individual match, you get a point on the board, and whatever team wins the most of the 7 matches that take place, then they progress to the next round. Okay, so it's AIGA Republic against Al Leon in the first round. Then also in the top half of the draw, we have the Williams team against Eurotrash. The Williams team is basically like the latest iteration of Team Midolfo, who are previous champions. So there's a heavy new wave Danaher element to the team. We have Big Dan, Giancarlo Bodoni, Oliver Taza, Isaac Michel, Jason Nolf, Gabriel Souza, and I think Dante Leon's on that team as well. They're up against Eurotrash. Tough draw for the Euro team. I've seen Hick Jesala, Jed Hugh, Pavel Javorsky, Marcus Feeling, and I think some Terry Lilius is coming in for the team as well. So, good team from Europe, but like big ask against one of the favourites to take the whole title. You'd have to favour Williams to come out of the top half of the draw, but like I said, that part of the draw is very stacked. So I think Williams will have a tough semi-final against AIGA Republic or Al Leon. but I'd favour them to come through. In the bottom half of the draw, first match is Universal Fighters from Dagestan, and they're going up against Battle Force from Kazakhstan. So because those teams feature a lot of grapplers from that part of the world that I'm not the most familiar with, I'm not going to dive deep into those teams, other than to say these teams always have what I'd call sleepers on it, guys who are unexpected, that have amazing skills that we've not seen necessarily competing on the events that we usually watch. So it's definitely going to be a match worth watching, and either of those teams comes through, like, don't be surprised if in the semi-final match that they make, there might be a couple of shocks along the way. But I think the favourite to come out of this half of the draw is going to come from the bottom half of the bracket, which is Team Kazai against Checkmat. Team Kazai, I think, like, the vast majority, if not all of their grapplers have made it to Kazakhstan. We're looking at guys like Juni Ocasio, Fabricio Andre, Elijah Dorsey, Roberto Jimenez, Kaynan Duarte, Diego Pato, Dorian Olivares, Pedro Mourinho. They're going up against Checkmat. Don't know lots about the Checkmat team, other than I think Gabriel Almeida's on it, Arnaldo Maidana, and I think Jansen Gomez's brother Jonathan has taken part. So we'd have to favour Kasai. I'm looking at a Kasai against Williams final. If you know any other grapplers that are taking part, or if you have any other info that you can provide on the AIGA event, please fire into the comments on this video, or give me a message on the Jiu Jitsu Oracle Instagram page. I've not seen any other previews of this event. I don't think it's been the easiest event to find out information about. So if we can make the Jiu Jitsu Oracle a little hub that's going to preview the event and give people all the info that they need to know, sit down for watching an awesome weekend of grappling, then let's try and do that collectively. The grapplers are competing for, there's a $1 million total prize pool that's existed for this tournament. I don't know how all the money gets spread out thereafter, but you can see that there's some top grapplers competing for some big money. I think I did my best to give you a quick idea of, like, the format of it, but just sit down in front of your computer, phone, TV, on YouTube from afternoon on Saturday UK time, in the morning US time, and just start watching this event, because I think we are going to see some amazing matches take place where some of these big hitters square off against each other, particularly later in the tournament. So if you have any thoughts on AIGA, please fire into the comments and let me know. Also, in the UK on Saturday, we have the latest Polaris event. Now, the prelims start at 3 p.m. UK time. Couple of standout prelim matches. Owen Jones against Carson Coles. Ellis Younger against Tom Barry. Two really, really good domestic matchups. The prelims are free on YouTube, so you can be watching AIGA, and then if you want, you can check out the Polaris prelims either at the same time, or what I'll probably do is tune in a little bit later on the prelims. I definitely want to watch those two matches. Then we have the squads event, US, headed up by Helena Cravar. Europe headed up by Nia Blackman. Was originally going to be Fionn Davies, but she's decided to take a break. Couple of standouts on the US squads team. Brianna St. Marie and Alex Enriquez. I guess it's technically North America if we have the Canadian BSM taking part. So, and then Europe, we have Sulame Loventhal and Margot Cicerelli, giving you an example, a couple of grapplers on their lineup. And then we have a super fight as well. Ono Flanagan against Mohamed Aftarhanov. I think that's a really interesting match. We'd favour Owen by pedigree. Not the Triple H finishing maneuver, more his pedigree in grappling, making it to the ADCC and scoring some wins on the big stage. But Muhammad is not one to be underestimated, and we've seen him provide tough competition to some good grapplers in the past. So won't be straightforward for Owen, but I think he should take it. And then, yeah, a couple of really interesting matches on the undercard, and we'll have the squads event. So the squads and the Owen match, the main match on the show, I think that's on Fight Pass. So I'll probably have later in the day Fight Pass on one screen watching Polaris, and AIGA on YouTube watching those matches. So let me know what you think about Polaris and who you're favouring in the matches there. Let me know what you think about AIGA, who you're favouring in the matches, and any other information you can provide about the event. But I think it's too big an event not to have a preview out, not to have some additional information for people who are going to be tuning in and watching it. So I've done my best to get the names of the grapplers taking part and to give you an idea how it all shake out. Any other information, you let me know. I'll be watching all the matches across the weekend. Saturday afternoon UK time into the evening looks like it's just going to be a case of sitting in front of the TV and the laptop and watching loads of grappling. So what a way to spend the day. And at some point over the weekend, so like, subscribe, follow, etc. so you can see when the episodes drop. The Jiu Jitsu Oracle will be back with analysis of what's happened at AIGA and Polaris.